This season of Quantum Kickflip is brought to you by MythWorks. Original worlds, original stories. Find out more at www.myth.works.
Previously on Quantum Kickflip.
We open up in the Boron Ridge Interdimensional Technical Education Academy, or the BRITE Academy. This is a boarding school in the middle of northern Alberta. There is all of these one-way portals that drop stuff randomly. My name's Jacob, but you can call me Flakes.
Gobriel Lubgorch from the plane of Desneen. He's a fish man.
I'm Flobert, but lots of people just call me Bub, or Bubby if they're close.
My name is Miserée, and I am running for prom queen.
Esther Infinitē, Slugblaster documentarian extraordinaire.
I have a lead on some of the best slug blasting equipment that you could find here in the school.
Now you're talking. You didn't tell me this was about Slugblaster, and you didn't tell me this was about a clandestine search for stuff we're not supposed to have.
This is a DROW Secure Storage Cube. He steps forward and gravity changes at a 90-degree angle. On your phone, there's a little line of data that goes surveillance orb activated.
And then he manages to fake it out and glorp right onto the surface of this orb.
And it short circuits inside of you and sends a jolt of electricity through you. There's word that they have a specialized drow chest that supposedly has some unique gear.
The phone, has been capturing her with the world moving behind it, and then just in time, zap blasts this box, and it bursts open in front of Goby.
There's a slug problem, okay? We just need to spray down some stuff around here. 2 drow agents. They start walking down the aisles. Will you be found? Will you get your stuff out? We'll have to find out next time on Quantum Kickflip. Hello and welcome to Quantum Kickflip, an actual play of the Slugblaster role-playing game. This is the second episode about the exciting adventures of our students at the Boron Ridge Interdimensional Technical Education Academy. Boy, oh boy, I'm so excited. We're right in the midst of this big old heist. But before we get to that, let us introduce ourselves. Tell me about a time when you were going to school that you got in trouble. I'm interested to see what this range looks like, because, generally, I don't think we have troublemakers.
Hi, my name is Robyn, and I play Gobriel Lubgorch, the Smarts Playbook with the powered armor. And a time that I got in trouble in school was I asked for Christmas for a hemp shirt because I thought that would be cool. And my grandma got me a t-shirt from a weed shop that had a big pot leaf on it that I think was made out of hemp, but I wanted a button up, like a hippie thing. And instead I got a weed leaf t-shirt. But I still wore it because it was cool in a different way.
Yeah.
And I got in trouble for wearing it to my grade 8 homeroom class. My teacher was mad at me about it, and I was like, it says right on it that it's a hemp shop that sells hemp products. It's a leaf from that plant, but that plant is used to make hemp. It's not a drug paraphernalia thing. It's a hemp thing. Because I was in 8th grade and wanted to challenge authority.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so my teacher sent me to the principal. I explained my case to the principal. The principal was like, well, it's not against the rules, but if your teacher has a personal problem with it, that's still, then you have to cover it up. And I went back to him and explained this to him smugly, and he made me cover it up with masking tape for the rest of the day. But I felt like it was a moral victory.
Hello, my name is Laena, and I play Miserée. She is the heart playbook with a voidware body because she is a void. I don't know if this necessarily counts as getting in trouble, but I did have to redo a grade. And that grade was kindergarten. And I think it's less I failed academically. I couldn't say my ABCs or whatever. I think I just had a bad time because I was 4 and did not acclimate to going to school well. So my parents were like, mulligan, we're going to try this again a year later.
Hi, I'm Liam. I play Esther Infinitē, the Guts playbook with the new signature device possibly coming down the pipe in some expansion stuff, the signature jailbroken Myper phone. And I remember one time getting into trouble for something I did not do, but didn't have the maturity and language to defend myself. So I just kind of had to like eat it. It was in junior high in like industrial arts, and we were like screen printing t-shirts, and there's like a lot of like ink and like a big canvas thing you gotta like rub the ink all over, and then you rub it on the shirt, and that's how you get the press on the shirt. I had been working on it, and I like mostly cleaned up after myself, and then 2 other kids in the class basically didn't clean up after themselves, just like threw it all in the sink and walked away. And then when the teacher was like, "Hey, who did this?" They went, "Oh, Liam did it." And I like remember the guy like, maybe he didn't actually do this, but in my memory, like grabbed me by the collar of the shirt and like dragged me back to clean this up. And I had to stay after school and like clean up these other kids' messes because they threw me under the bus and I couldn't defend myself. So
Damn.
Mr. Vorhaven, wherever you are, thanks for listening.
I am Michael Vetsch, and I'm here playing the Grit playbook, Flobert, Bubby, Slyman, the sentient goo boy. And a time I got in trouble is...
You're really sweating this.
Michael has been looking like a deer in the headlights ever since the question was asked.
He's in trouble right now,
the
I
goodest
think.
boy.
Yeah, it's happening. I got in trouble for skipping English class in 10th grade because I got really bad writing anxiety, so I like wasn't done an essay because it made me want to kill myself. I got in trouble for skipping class
my God.
because I was so scared. I got in trouble.
These are the rebels.
I got in trouble in
running
8th grade because I laughed really hard when the teacher played the GIF leak spin. I laughed too hard and got asked to stay in over lunch because I was being disruptive. Is this the story? That's me.
The stories are fine. It's your anxiety that is just...
The notion of trouble does this to me.
That tells me everything I need to know. And I'm David Ray, and I play Jake Flakes Stanley, who is the Chill Playbook and has the Riff Ninja sneakers. And for me, it was one time in grade 6. Some of the boys that have inspired some of the NPCs this time around, boys. I was kind of on the outsides of that group. And one time we were running out for recess. There's a group of us and we were all kind of playing and pushing each other. And I was at the back and I pushed one kid into another, just dominoed 3 kids into... Like, our library was an open library. There was no walls. The walls were the library shelves that were, like, contained the library. And I pushed the 3 kids into the back of a library shelf, and it just fully fell over. Plume of dust comes up, and we're like, cheese it! And then we all scattered. We didn't actually say it. I was just making a Slugblaster reference. But we all ran, immediately got caught. And and then we went down for that. And years later, when I was drunk at a bar with my principal from elementary school, he noted that this is the one time I got in trouble, and he's just like, that David Ray was a fucking saint. And, which I think is the highest compliment I can get from a principal.
Yeah.
Now that we've introduced ourselves, let's stop with all this silliness. Let's dive into this game. It's time to play the game. It's time to play Slugblaster. So we're going to get back into this heist that's in this DROW Secured Storage Cube, in this like fake janitor hallway. And I want you to imagine in your mind's eye, we're going to have like a little bit of a movie moment. So you just like, you hear this jazzy kind of music of a boom, 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 and then you see this image of like a digital clock, and it's ticking down and everything like this, and then it cuts off to the side. The clock is still there, but now you see also these big heavy boots clomping on the tiles of the school, walking somewhere. And then we also cut over to see Flakes inside this security cube. He's looking at this brand new advanced portaling tech that he just got, knowing that he's going to be able to slug blast even better. In another frame, we see
Yes, Esther Infinitē. Her frame is spiraling because she is currently doing like an infinite backflip in the zero gravity center of this weird gravity room and is holding a hard light selfie stick, recording herself, recording all of the people around her, and capturing what's going on in this room in 360 degrees. What is it when it's a sphere?
Fahrenheit.
Exactly.
And the music's still going. Another frame pops up.
There's actually a series of a bunch of little small frames. There's one, they're almost kind of like panels in an animatic. And you have security orb with Bubby going on top of it. Security orb fully encased in Bubby. Bubby spitting security orb out.
Flying towards Miserée, her black void-like absence of anything swallows this orb with a shoop, and she's sort of like branching out these like waving appendages in like jubilance as she just like portaled this orb into a random other dimension, and she's just still shouting praise to Bubby for the throw. Your quirks are your strength. Consume that which should cross you.
And the music's keep going, boom, ba-dum, boom, ba-dum, boom, ba, ba. And the final frame, which slowly expands and takes over the whole frame, we go to.
Clearly, the director of this heist movie grew up watching Tarantino and wanted to like do an homage thing. So it's like the shot from Pulp Fiction where they're looking in the briefcase, but it's a fishman's face looking out of a helmet with three portholes on the front and either side, and his eyes, his glowing yellow eyes that stick out on the sides of his head, widen even further. They bug out even more as the glow from this rescue storage container lockbox lights up the front of his suit and his face as he looks down upon what's inside.
And there's a variety of discs, lens, coils, and gems, 2 of each, and including a special crystal lens, which can either act as a gem or a lens, as well as a data coil that can either work as a disc or a coil.
Ooh.
Along with, there's this kind of foil-like bag that is zipped at the top kind of a thing with a little marking that says danger biohazard kind of stuck into the corner of it, as well as a folded up looking like a multiversal map kind of stuck in the frame of it, cutting over these 2 drow agents covered in these hazmat suits with the spray of the sodium that they were able to kind of gather up from the pool of water from the quad. Unaware of the heist that's taking place, Flakes kind of sees what's happening, and so does Esther. People are kind of aware that there's a breach as you hear these drow agents talk. So I'm going to start this off by using my last 2 remaining bite.
2 bite.
Uh-oh.
We had the danger track of caught, CAUGHT. We had just C and A marked off. I'm going to mark off U and G. So we just have H and T left because they are here. It's going to be so difficult to not be seen by these drow agents. Out of the time left bar, we have EFT.
Oh, I had FT.
I only had FT left.
Oh, even better. Thank you.
Sorry. Teacher, did you remember to assign the homework?
Teacher!
Yeah. Way to go. If we were playing D&D, that would be an inspiration point.
And because it's Slugblaster, we get...
Nothing.
Beans.
But you did open the chest, so you have all these components. You got a couple of actions you can try to do to get more stuff, but you're risking being caught. Do we cheese it and get out of here? What do you do?
Look out, team. We got company.
I think Miserée, upon seeing these drow agents come in, is quite concerned that we won't be able to get out of here without a distraction play. She's mostly been focused on damage control and not on acquiring items, so it's a rough scene for Miserée right now. She also has the ostracized slam because earlier she had tried to like put herself out there and make connections with the people, and everyone was like, "You're a freaky void, please don't talk to me." So I think she wants to sort of lean into her aberrant nature and act as a distraction and look like an open portal.
Oh.
So that the drow agents are like, what is this open portal doing here? We need to address this. Let's turn all our attention here, giving her friends an opening to escape.
Okay, I love that. Are you rolling any kind of a check?
Yeah, the basic function of Voidware is roll to see if you happen to have a specific everyday item in the void. I think she probably has an understanding that portals act like nothing, but she still wants to be a little bit more flashy about it. So I want to roll to see if I have little firecrackers so that I can do like little pops and smoke, like, ooh, look at this open portal. What
Yeah,
portals always do.
Yeah, like a Doctor Strange sparks.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm going to add a d6 from the Voidware, and I'm going to add a d6 from the Heart. So I'm going to roll with 3d6.
Okay.
Ooh, baby, a 1, a 2, and a 3.
Oh
I like that cell. Thank you. So with that, you used up F out of time left.
Good.
And that was a full-on failure, so that is an H off of caught. We are just getting closer to it. I think you start describing it, and I'm going to interject what this...
I mean, I guess let me know what she pulls out if it's not firecrackers.
Yeah.
But she's sort of looking for something that can like add a little extra sort of flair to her performance to draw the attention of the drow agents to her. She tries to like make herself look sort of oval and kind of is placing herself close to the floor, quote unquote, like the bottom face of this cube.
Yep.
Very much in plain sight as much as she can. And she's also trying to just add some extra sound effects. She's doing like and like reaching and like what's the thing that she's gonna find to like ultimate goal is to distract them, but she wants to just try and like embellish what she's doing.
Okay, I think you said that you're a little bit anxious about all of this. You're trying to keep everything on track. You want everything to go well, and you're pulling out. You're going to pull out firecrackers.
Okay, great.
Multiple. You accidentally brought out a whole box of them, and they spread around, and they start, and you see they start catching a couple of boxes on fire. And now the drow agents are like, what the hell is going on over there? And seeing all this fire break out, and fully sees that you're there, but also that there's also the slime boy Flobert nearby as well.
Safe to say me too if I'm in the literal middle of the room.
You're in the little...
I'm floating in the middle of the... Yeah.
The three of you are immediately spotted, but they're like, but there's thieves in here, there's thieves in here, but we gotta deal with the fire. And the one starts running towards like a fire alarm kind of a thing, and the other one raises up their thing and starts spraying water all around up there. Now this comes to the question of like, how do you interact with the real world?
You're trying to figure out how to slam me?
I'm trying to slam you.
Well, isn't the slam that we lost a letter, or is this...
No, that's a mark on the track.
Oh,
That's a mark on the track.
Teacher.
You know what it is? No, the slam's not coming to you.
Oh.
It's coming to you. You're like kind of like trying to observe and catch all of this, and all the gravity is in this like weird kind of space around you, and so it's like kind of potentially going to get you from all angles kind of a thing. So it's a kind of a caustic kind of a thing that they're spraying at you.
Oh, sure, and it's, if the gravity... Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Nope.
So how does Esther get out of the way of this?
I think is just going to find a point where she can plant her foot on one of the tops of the shelves and like kick off and get out of it before it's too late. Yeah. But it is going to put her on one of the four faces of this weird room. You can tell me which one, but she's going to she's just going to jump out of the way of this stuff coming at her from every direction. For me and the listeners, how does Nope work again?
That is 2 trouble. You mark 2 trouble to avoid a slam.
Great.
Yeah.
You love to see it.
So now we got the one letter left. We are at T. Once that last letter leaves, if you do not actually get out, which will be determined by the disaster roll, then it's going to be like slams that are going to be coming.
Time left T, not caught T.
That's correct.
I have a play to maybe distract these drow agents and like stop the one who's running for the fire alarm. Yeah. that can maybe be mechanically a way to buy us a little more time.
Okay.
If someone else wants to make a play for, I'm realizing that maybe grabbing some hoverboards would be a good thing for our crew who maybe don't have hoverboards at this point.
Oh, sorry. I should say that I did miss one detail. There are also hoverboards inside the case.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yes. The hoverboards are there. It seems like this is like a collection from some Slugblaster team that's been all confiscated.
Gotcha.
So,
well, then maybe this is just a play to, like I say, distract the guards. I'm going to make an offensive maneuver here, but maybe that's buying us our window to exit. And if, Goby was able to grab something off a shelf in his blind rush out the door, that would be great too.
Yeah.
So I will use my remaining. I have 1 kick left and 1 D6 left. And that's all of my personal resources. What do we got for crew resources currently?
Full hype. I
Full
believe
hype?
2 D6 and a kick.
I'll throw one of those D6s on. Should both of them, or do we want to save
This is
one?
the last, no, we're saving for what?
We're getting out.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the last thing.
All right. That'll give me 4d6 to roll with here. I want to take this slug that this. I don't remember if you described what the name of the slug was.
The Metaterrestrial.
Just Metaterrestrial slug. And it was a little tiny slug that feeds on power and was living in here, drawing off of various power sources.
Right.
Goby wants to quickly and deftly grab this, spin, and huck it at one of the drow agents.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that somewhere in their high-tech gear, they have a power source that will, once this thing is hucked at them, it will start trying to feed off of them and essentially attract their attention to oh, we can't pull a fire alarm or spray a thing. We have to deal with this slug that's on Jeff.
Yeah.
And that will maybe buy us a chance to slip out relatively unnoticed. So I'm rolling with 46 and a kick.
Yep.
I didn't say this when I was doing my action, and I only regret it a little bit because I failed anyway. Are you doing a trick?
Ooh. Yeah, I think if you're still rolling, Esther, on your if you still got your footage rolling.
In fact, I'm happy to say maybe the wall that I jumped to was the one adjacent to you.
Yeah, that makes sense. Then Goby's gonna try and make this maneuver look cool. He's gonna grab this slug and do a cool spin move with his because he's still firing water out of the soles of his powered armor and gliding around. So he tries to make this look effortless and fluid. And we'll see how that goes with 46.
Okay.
Wow, that's really spinning. Full top action.
We got a 1, a 2, a 4, and that last one that rolled off the table, but I re-rolled it, and it's a 6.
Yeah.
Oh, baby!
Yeah.
Woo! That's a style for Papa.
So I think with that, you add H back to the cot.
Yeah.
You are out of time left.
Okay.
So now we're going to be taking slams. If you, for some reason, get caught up, staying behind, if you fail your disaster roll, this is what the kind of consequences it would be looking like. But I'm going to say that you get a free roll on in the lab.
Okay.
Right now. Basically, you just
That's what I grabbed, yeah. I love that. So I just roll 1 die and whatever it comes up as?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a 4. A gem?
Yeah, get an extra gem.
I'll take a gem.
In addition to what you described?
Yeah. Into everything else that we've gotten. So
yeah, as he's, he grabs this slug, engages the hydro jets on the bottom of his powered armor to do a cool 360 spin and uses the momentum of that to just whip it in the face of one of the drow agents. The one who's running to pull the alarm, and it just smacks him in the head, and the other one goes running after him. And meanwhile, Goby pulls out of this spin and on his way to the exit just reaches out blindly and kind of supermarket sweeps along one of the shelves. And when he manages, I think he knocks down.
Incredible. I can't believe.
I just knocked my water bottle over while demonstrating my supermarket sweep. And yeah, much like that, he knocks a bunch of shit over, but manages to close his fist around a gem.
Wonderful. And that's where we're going to now go into our disaster roll.
Well, we've got the locker, the trunk, right?
You have the trunk. It's in the hands of Goby. You're kind of at the far end. This is where this disaster roll will determine how well you escape out of this place.
Mm-hmm.
So, who got 6s?
I did.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did I. Look at that. Everybody
Easy
goes,
street.
hey.
We should heist more often, gang. This shit's easy.
Shit's so easy.
So that's one style for everybody.
Amazing.
Yay.
So what we'll do is just go around the horn real quick of like, what does it look like for your character to get by? I think with the agents, with the Metaterrestrial slug kind of latched onto the back of the, cylinders full of water. The slug is there draining the battery pack and like, oh, we got to get it off. They're struggling with it. Goby goes flying out, like you said there. Flakes is probably nearby and immediately is scrambling, like whole time, like watching the agents and like even kind of like knocks them a little bit and just scrambles, grabs the frame of the door and throws himself through back to the other side.
Esther will help you carry the other half of this trunk.
Yeah, I like that if we're like each have one arm on the trunk and one arm to like navigate.
Good find, Gobriel.
Thanks, Esther. I'm doing my best.
I think Miserée just kind of like melts away and kind of like tries to disguise herself as like some of the shadows of the shelves, and then she like creeps along the bottom of the shelves and gets out.
Yeah, Flobert, I think, just goops his way on over. I don't know, he doesn't have any other means of propulsion at the moment, so he just kind of moves on by. Maybe sucks up some of that delicious soda water on his way through.
They brought it right to you.
Caustic.
Yeah. Great. And with the alarms going, the small fire happening, you all flood out. The other two agents get out as well, and then they seal it up. And who knows how they're dealing with that? That's not your issue. As you are running down the hallways with your ill-gotten gains, and
since we rolled perfectly on the disaster roll and didn't trigger it,
yeah,
on our way out, we like get back out into that janitor's closet room, and we're just bolting. We got to get out of here before anyone sees us. But Goby looks back over his shoulder and has a moment where he sees one crumpled coffee cup that was thrown away in the previous episode and just landed on the floor nearby, and like spies it and snags it on his way by to not leave any evidence.
Incredible.
I wrote it down last time. I was like, this will either be the thing that brings us down or the thing that I like grab in the nick of time.
Hell yeah.
Coming out of the janitor's closet on the way out, I know there was like sort of illusory wall at the back concealing stuff. Is there actual janitor stuff in the front half of the closet?
I think that the actual thing was going to be like an actual mop bucket.
Yeah, Bubby falls into the bucket by accident and then rolls down the hallway in the mop bucket.
Very good.
Perfect. So you all run away and Flakes kind of stops and like, wait, where should we go? Are we going to go back to the room? Maybe.
We should go back to a secret hideout. We don't have one of those.
We have the music room, I guess. That's where we met the first time, and no one goes there because of the weird multi-dimensional incident that wrecked the acoustics.
I think they're going to be looking all over the school for whoever did this. I think we need to get off campus. Can I suggest the gas station diner?
Oh, I could use a snack.
Okay, yeah, great. Let's go. And off you go. You skirt around the edge of the quad because, of course, you're not supposed to be out there.
Yeah.
Just as it's wrapping up with the swim team trials and everything like that. They're coming out, and you've made your clean getaway. Let's actually gather at the gas station.
Yeah.
Do we have a good name for this gas station? We didn't. I feel like it's got to be.
My first impulse was to riff on real life gas stations. It's not a Husky. It's in this world it's a Malamute.
The Malamute. Yeah, let's do it. The Malamute. Gas and food.
Gas and food.
Gas and food.
So appetizing.
And so there's a lot of confusion. It's just like, wait, it kind of sounds like it's farts and food for Malamutes. And it's like, no, we already put too much time and effort into the marketing of this. We got to stick with it.
Yeah.
But it's this classic diner with the red seats and the tables where you kind of see across the whole restaurant. And there's the kitchen with the little window to the back. And there's the waitress who...
The tables are like, have that kind of speckled pattern, and then the trim or those
That metal trim.
the wavy silver
The
metal.
metal, yeah, absolutely. I'm picturing like peeling vinyl on the seats.
Yeah. Yeah, clearly put in there back when it was a boron mine and everything.
Yeah.
This is back from those days, and some of them are peeling, chipped off, and we all find a booth at the back, and we sit down, and we one of the seats is almost like fully filled up with the trunk,
Yeah,
and like
it's
one
seats
person.
7. There's 5 of us, and then 2 for the trunk.
And
We're in the corner booth.
we open it up. Flakes is just so excited, and like, guys, we did it. We pulled it off. We can actually be Slugblaster. Like, look at this thing, and he pulls out the one of the hoverboards and the lenses and the gems, and sees the silvery bag. It says biohazard on there.
Goby does a double take and is like, we probably shouldn't be interacting with that without, some of the gear that those rescue guys had. And then
Allow me. She extends a fragment of herself, like an arm.
And so it's like one of those foil bags that you can rip at the top and everything, and it's got like the Ziploc style.
The one-time seal.
Yeah.
I think part of her hand like comes out and then forms like 2 scissor blades, and then she like scissors it open.
Very good.
And Flakes is right there, just like, what is it? What is it? What is it? And
Be careful.
Mr. Wilkie's, and he reaches his hand and pulls it out, and it's this kind of like beat up kind of box from the 1950s. It looks like a candy box from that era where it's kind of, and on the side of it, it reads, Mr. Wilkie's Edible Build-A-Buddy, and along in like this old-timey font and everything like this, faded and everything, make a friend that you can eat. It's about 6 inches long and 6 centimeters wide. That way, it messes with both metric systems.
Material?
Yeah.
No matter where you live, you're upset right now.
And he's like, what is it? What is it? And he opens it up, and inside there is kind of like, it looks like a Petri dish.
Yeah.
As well as like a little screw top container that like seems to have like a bunch of sugar and ingredients and all that kind of stuff. And then a big old needle with a wide gauge. The instructions. And he starts looking at it. You can use your DNA to make a guy made out of candy.
Your own DNA? You're gonna it's like a candy clone of you?
Yeah, and then apparently you can eat it. I mean, the expiry was in 1986, but I'm sure it's probably not that bad.
How does that help us slug blast or in any meaningful way? Why do I want a candy clone of me?
We do it because it's cool, Goby. This is awesome. We can get a guy. We can get a candy guy.
Well, which one of us should we take the source material from?
Okay, okay. We'll figure that out later. Okay. And he puts it away. So we're a slug blasting crew. We should probably come up with a name. Okay. What about the Boneheads? What about the Winnipeg Jets? That one's taken.
That room that we were in had really sort of strange effects on us where we were like floating from it. It had really weird gravity. What if we called ourselves Weird Gravity?
Oh, no.
I just searched that. It looks like somebody just south of here already uses that one.
Oh, okay.
Well, thank you so much for coming out. This went as perfect as it can go. I feel this is destiny.
Well, no, but you almost got hurt. I'm so sorry, Esther.
Oh no, that was rad as hell. I had so much flippin' fun. Gang, that was great. Is there? I'm the gummy thing's interesting. What else is in that case? Is there enough hoverboards for all of us?
Yeah, there's a couple, and puts out another one for you, and
In a too perfect opportunity, Esther pulls out one that's sort of oddly sort of shaped like the letter 8, but with a bit of it's shaped like an hourglass, basically.
Yeah.
And the grip tape is right in the middle of the 2 teardrops, and it looks like an infinity symbol. It's
Yes.
there. It would be convenient, but this is like one of the most common models. Like, everybody's got these, but she's like, well, it is on brand.
Miserée is drawn to one that kind of looks like a pretty classic double kick skateboard with like black grip tape. Looks like it hasn't been used very much. And on the bottom, it's got like these bright red slush propeller grav repulsors. And she just sort of like takes it gingerly and is looking at it. And she's like, I've never seen one of these before. So intriguing.
Oh, hell yeah. Can I add I'm going to add a detail, but she's like, oh, actually, this is even cooler than a regular board. The two parts of it there's a axle in the middle that lets them sort of wobble
like
back
the nose and the
forth.
tail.
Like the nose and the tail go like left to right.
Yeah.
Kind of like when it's going, forward to backwards, it's flat, but you can, dip your heel down on your left foot and your toe forward on the right foot to kind of do some weird grinds.
Yes.
I think Flakes just pulls out this one, like it's got like fussed on it, but it was like from this specific era of their marketing where they just dropped the vowels for some reason. So it's just FST across the bottom.
Oh, wow. That one looks really fast.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't even have time for the A.
I think Goby pulls out a board and is like, yeah, this one feels like it could be workable, and kind of sets it down on the ground and is like, yeah, this looks perfect for me, and goes to hop on it in his powered armor, and it just immediately snaps in half.
Oh no!
He's like, well, I think I can still make this work. I can make use of this one. I'll still hang on to this. I broke it. I bought it.
I don't know. I think I was pretty taken by this thick board that I found on the way out. And Bubby's just kind of been sitting in the mop bucket beside the booth the whole time. It's bright yellow. I love the color. It really matches what I've got going on.
Well, take this one anyway, and we can maybe repurpose it. And because that I'm pretty sure that bucket doesn't have nth gear.
What's that?
I'll give you a hand.
All right.
Yeah, I was thinking, do we mod it to have
mod
an
your mop
gear
bucket?
hover?
Pop some repulsors on the bottom of this bucket.
Love it.
The server comes up to you. Are you kids going to actually get anything?
Goby in his water-filled armor, kind of like, no.
I'll take a virgin peach Bellini, please.
A Coca-Cola it is.
Hello, beloved listeners. It's me, Laena. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Quantum Kickflip. I'm going to hit you with a few announcements. Today, I want to talk about our Patreon. We have so many delicious rewards in our Patreon, including early access, bonus content, cast live streams, special shoutouts, and more. And we've got a new reward coming your way. Quantum Kickflip's Tome of Tricks is a Slugblaster supplement featuring all sorts of cool things that have shown up in our podcast, monsters, factions, locations, and more. We had set a goal to get 20 new and upgrading patrons. We have hit that goal, and to celebrate, we are giving Quantum Kickflip's Tome of Tricks to all of our patrons, including anyone who joins our Patreon in the month of June. After that, Quantum Kickflip's Tome of Tricks will be available for sale online as of July 1st. But if you want to get your hands on it early, head to patreon.com/quantumkickflip and join today. I would like to send a special thank you to the patrons in our Legend tier. Shout out to Bronze Dionysus, Nash Fesman Farmer, Diamantina, Aratlon, Mana, Lamp Critic, and Craig from Canberra, Australia. Thank you, Slugblaster Legends. We may have stolen the Wilkie's Build-A-Buddy, but you have stolen our hearts. This season, Quantum Kickflip is proud to be sponsored by MythWorks. In addition to publishing Slugblaster and other great comics and games, MythWorks is committed to a better and more equitable future. To learn more about MythWorks, follow them on social media at MythWorksHQ or check out their website at www.myth.works. You can catch the next episode of Quantum Kickflip on Wednesday, July 2nd, or 2 days earlier if you're a patron. Let's get you back to the action.
It is downtime. let us hand out some style. Let's see here. We are partiers, where we're +3 style on runs where we throw a party or have a good time. Or weirdos, +3 style on runs where you take on an unconventional approach.
Oof. Like, not a party.
No.
I think definitively not a party run.
Yeah.
Like, it was going against convention in that we did a thing we weren't supposed to do, but like, I think as far as...
By the conventions of a heist, it was a heist.
Yeah,
we
straightforward
took
went
stuff,
down the
we
middle.
fought the opponents. There wasn't
Yeah.
anything wildly unconventional that we did.
As much as I want the extra style to play with, I don't know that we lived up to our stated, our mission statement.
Everybody's got to start somewhere. You got to start basic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then moving on to factions, I think honestly, because of a lot of the... You didn't get caught. Yes, you were spotted briefly, but there's nothing like, oh, you folks were there.
Could have been any blob creature.
It could have been any
Yeah.
blob creature. Esther was streaming though when you were pulling off the heist.
Yeah, at least the middle part.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like who would that appeal to, because I'm thinking that this would affect one of the crowds.
Is there one that's more into like rule breaking and anti-authoritarian?
Probably the freaks. I feel
Freaks
like it
or
would either be the
thrashers?
freaks or the heads.
I'm going to make a case for the heads because that's also her whole MO is being part of a Slugblaster crew as the one to capture and immortalize them.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know if it was on mic or not, but the Spike Jones to the Jackass crew, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think in that vein, she would be appealing to the heads. They value skill and expertise.
I think that makes sense. So that will move the heads from a rating of 1 to a rating of 2. So we're now pretty tight in with the heads and everything.
Would it also affect the freaks?
I think actually it might actually affect the freaks.
Yeah.
That would move the freaks to a 2 as well.
If the heads and the freaks are both a +1, then maybe we get a -1 with someone else, and maybe it is like the normies
Yeah.
who are like, oh, this is a little too out there for me. They're
Yeah.
crossing some lines. Or I would also pitch the Mavens being -1 because they're like activists and punks and value message, and this was like kind of just a self-serving
robbery.
run that like doesn't really have any. So they're like, this crew doesn't really stand for anything yet. -1.
Yeah, because they had the opportunity to affect DROW and they didn't. They
Yeah.
just stole from them. Who cares?
Yeah.
And no political statement made kind of a thing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that. -1 to Mavens, +1 to heads, +1 to freaks.
I like that. A little bit of movement in both directions.
It's after class one day, and Miserée has invited Flakes to meet with her out at the athletic field outside of the school. This is the place that has like the football field and, you know, the track all the way around it in this big oval, bleachers all around. And Miserée has her hoverboard, and she's got it underneath her, and she's sort of balanced kind of precariously. She's far too big for this little double kick board, so she's kind of like expanded out on top of it. And she says to Flakes, "Thank you so much for meeting me here and for involving me in your heist. I was hoping I could ask a favor of you.
Oh yeah, of course.
Can you show me how to do a kickflip?"
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I've been wanting to practice this a lot more. Now that I actually have a board, it'll be a lot easier because I've been watching all the videos. I've know all the how-tos. Okay, first of all, you get on your board and you kind of put one foot on and then you get on the other.
One foot. Let's see. Yeah! She like kind of creates two appendages that are like legs with feet.
Yes, right. I forgot how much this is. Okay. So to do a kickflip, you kind of have to you kind of lean back on the back foot and kind of hop up with your front foot, and then you lift up with your back foot and land on just like this. And he attempts to do it, and then immediately, just like it did to Dave Ray in real life the one time he tried it, it shoots out from underneath him, and he lands fully on his hip. Just bang!
And Miserée, like, quickly skates up next to you and, like, kind of skids to a stop. Are you all right?
It's fine. It's fine.
Let me pull you up. Perhaps the pins and needles will distract from the concussion.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for your help. But that's enough help. Thank you. Okay. Well, it just takes a little bit of practice. Why don't you give it a shot? And meanwhile, I'm going to try to reestablish myself in reality here.
All right, here I go. And she does like this like cute little ollie, just like up and down.
Yeah.
Nose up, nose down.
And just immediately gets attacked. Oh, okay, great. So
that was fun.
And this afternoon is just, if there was a montage, it would be going back and forth between Flakes and Miserée, doing things. Yeah. Him trying to do it, biffing every time.
And like Miserée sees your board go like shooting up from under you, and she like quickly skates over and then like scoops it up in a smooth motion and then brings it back. And like how does a void show excitement? She kind of starts vibrating a little bit as time goes on, and she like learns how to do an ollie and like is like skating around and like figuring out how to like stop and turn effectively. And I think it does end with her just managing to pull off the kickflip.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, did you see?
Oh, that was great. Oh man, I'm starting to think my hoverboard is actually broken. I think there's a problem with it, and so
it does seem to go flying when you stand on it. Yes. Can I try?
Yeah. Why not?
And she gets on your board and just like skates in a little circle, and is like, maybe it's something about how I interact with the gravity of this dimension.
And Flakes has this like kind of oh no, I'm not actually good at this.
Flakes, I want to thank you for this. You've brought together this crew that, might start to be friends. I like to think that maybe we're friends.
It was a lot of fun hanging out with you. I'm glad that you're on the team.
Thank you. And I'm excited that I have this cool, rad new skill. Would you take a hug? And she like slowly expands out.
So ominous.
I have like a whole thing with touch. I'm sorry.
Is it the Flakes thing?
And he like retreats into his own memory and is like, no, it's a different thing. It's just a different thing. It's nothing to do with it. Like, it was really nice to see you, and I'll see you later. And like grabs his board, and like clearly something's bothering, but he like goes and runs on his way.
And Miserée kind of like watches him go, and she like has this little feeling again, I think, of like, it can't help but feel reminiscent to her of when she was trying to talk to other people in like her prom queen campaign. And everyone kind of like, I think it was like reactions ranking from like at the very least indifference and at the most like fear and repulsion. And I think the Flakes saying that they are friends, like, she believes that, but also this kind of sticks with her a little bit too. And so I think she takes a little bit of extra time at the end to just like do some laps around with her hoverboard and try some more ollies. And she just like does a little bit of practice on her own to kind of like work out this like lingering feeling of like, oh, it has something to do with her. You know what I mean? This beat is passion. Look through your crew's photos, daydream about portals, feel the wind in your face as you skate. Show us what you love and how much. I get a trait from this, and I think it makes sense that if I'm doing the passion beat, I should unlock the passion trait. You care passionately about... I feel like hoverboarding might be like broad because there's a lot of hoverboarding, so I might even just call it skateboarding.
Okay.
The skating culture and aspect is the thing that she cares passionately about.
That's great. So would all of our characters get together? We have all of these elements, our discs or coils or gems. Are we all kind of working on our items together? Are we doing them separately?
I like the idea of doing it as a newly formed crew, and if I can pitch a location, Goby might need this to be back at his room, which is, of course, the swimming pool that the school has for their swim team. When the swim team's not using it, they drain it and refill it with Desninian water for me to have a place to live.
Yeah, I could see this happening on the weekend, right? They've drained it after the team tryout and is refilled. And of course, there's less presence of teachers on the school. So.
I'm picturing your classic school swimming, got tile on the floor and the walls, and it's got a kind of aquamarine color palette going on. And there's maybe a little area off to the side where there's some beach tables and chairs and maybe a big umbrella in the middle of the table, a little parent area that you would go if your kid was in swimming lessons kind of thing. And there's a hot tub over to the side that's always closed for maintenance. And a sauna. But we're not focused on any of that. We've got the crew is all kind of in that. Goby's in the water and everyone else is in that little poolside area hanging out on beach chairs.
Flakes is kind of tearing apart his hoverboard, realizing, he really loves slug blasting, but he's not really good at the hoverboarding part. So he's kind of ripping apart his fussed board and taking some components and looking at his Rift Ninja sneakers, kind of if I, take this coil and I take this gem that we got, I'm going to fiddle around and mess with my shoes. And he develops the powered midsoles in his Rift Ninja sneakers. So he's feeling a lot better, and he's just cool, I'm going to slug blast by not doing any hoverboarding. This is great. Yeah.
It's funny you should say, because Goby's doing something very similar. He's outside of his armor. Currently, he's in the water of the pool, but he's got his armor submerged in the pool with him so that he can do maintenance on it. And he's kind of, again, taking apart the board that he broke, and working some of the components in, basically trying to give his armor the ability to go into nth gear and portal in the way that a hoverboard would. And he's doing this all in the Desninian way underwater. So he's got his hydrotungsten hyperconductors hooked up so that he can do electrical work underwater, and it channels it safely and doesn't electrify the entire pool. And he's making these adjustments and working stuff in. And occasionally sort of surfaces briefly to check on the rest of the crew and sort of banter back and forth, but can't stay out of the water for more than a few seconds kind of thing before he has to take a breath. How's it going up on the poolside, gang?
I'm just jamming it in here. I think it's going to work. There's no worry. I think this is going to be great. There's exposed wires. It's just sparks at the wrong angle.
Goby's trying to coach you through it, and it's I think that wire is still live. You should maybe make sure that things are
and immediately is sparking. Just, and I eventually solder it down, but the shoes are wrecked. They are not in not destroyed, but just these are not in
they
good
don't look
condition.
good.
Yeah.
Did you say that Goby is shockproof while in the pool?
He's got a system to redirect the electricity so that it doesn't, electrify the entirety of the pool.
Okay, so if Flobert was to be gloobing by holding a car battery and then fell in the pool, he'd be fine.
I don't know about that.
What a car battery for?
They just found it. They got an automotive wing.
The Vestige portal in the quad is open again.
I was just trying to think of a way that part of what stimulated the beginning of finding a new mod for Flobert in that run was being electrocuted by the orb.
Yeah.
So I think he has to try and recreate some of that to get the same sort of molecular excitation that he found there. Because as with the Indolab for some of these other newer devices, I had to do sort of one portion during a run and one portion as an Indolab after the fact, which in this case would be jumping in a pool with a car battery.
I like that, yeah. He sees you toddling along the side of the pool, and as you start to go over, he grabs onto the hydrotungsten hyperconductor and grounds himself thoroughly, and is like nothing I can do for you, but Goby's gonna be okay.
Guys, look what I found! It's leaking acid everywhere!
Are you swinging it like Red Riding Hood with a picnic basket?
It's kind of up on top of me. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Joyously bouncing up and down a little, and then just somehow slides into the pool. Whoops!
I'll get you! And Miserée dives in.
Man, even I know that's dangerous, but somehow it worked out. Are you okay?
I feel great!
Miserée looks static charged, there's little if somehow she had hair, it's all standing on end, but
the
it's all
edges
shadow.
of your void
are just fully frayed and out as she pulls herself out of the pool with Flobert.
The car battery is encased within him, just like a classic gelatinized American dinner, and it slowly dissipates and gets absorbed into his being.
Esther is there, but I don't have enough style to do it in the lab, so I'm going to hold on to my disc and lens, and she's just focusing on working that video that she took. So she sees all of you. She's part of this, but she's hyper focused on her phone, and I think she's you said there was a beach umbrella and a picnic table. As a popularian, that is very at home for her. That's akin to a work desk.
Yeah.
And so she's wearing her workman's uniform, which is big, oversized cat's eye sunglasses, a halter top, and short shorts. And with her, flip flop feet up on another on the picnic table, and is fully in the zone on her phone. So.
With that shockwave of electricity that electrifies the entirety of the pool, and Goby just barely gets himself grounded, realizes that he's been trying to figure out how to spend these resources that we got from the run, but I think in that moment is maybe the defensive capabilities of my armor are the thing to focus on, and I'm going to unlock my Ablatine plates. I'm going to use one lens and a disc from our haul to and one of my style to install that upgrade and just give myself a little bit more defensive capability, because I see who I'm slug blasting with, and I'm maybe some defense. And while I'm in there, I'm also, again, installing the nth gear capability from the board. As I put this in, I don't know if I mentioned in the previous episode, but the way I picture Goby's armor working is that it has a couple of micro portals within it that constantly flood water from Desnine through the suit and then back out into Desnine and circulate it, so that he's always getting, fresh Desninian water to keep him alive. And I think he notices that as he installs this nth gear, it takes him a sec. It seems like it's not working and that it can't quite shift all the way into nth gear. And he realizes it's because some of the energy is being drawn off by those micro portals. And he's able to, isolate it and sever that connection and make it work. But in that moment, he sees that the micro portals are drawing a little bit of this power, and they're enlarging, and more water is coming through. And it just sort of turns over in his brain, oh, I didn't even think that could happen, that the portals could be affected by. Interesting. And he partitions it off, but it started a chain of thought that may lead him somewhere down the line. Which I'm going to use to double this in the lab beat as an inspiration. A big idea interrupts you, gnawing at your mind and flooding you with adrenaline. Do we know what it is yet? You drop everything to go work on it. Pick a teammate who was there. You're all there!
Yay! That's nice. Miserée, being all frayed from being also shocked by this car battery, goes over. I think there's maybe one end of the picnic table that Esther isn't working on, that Miserée has piled up with snacks from the convenience store. And she grabs a little kit and opens it up and sort of rifles through it. And she's like, no, this is all peel back specific. I'll just have to shake this off. And I took some of the gear to get a peel back kit, just in case something goes sideways, because it almost went so sideways for us. We'll make it go a little more on track.
Very good.
Coming out of that sort of shared in the lab beat, Flobert did sort of solidify gaining the mod of molecular tuning. I think he's also going to add to his arsenal in terms of a piece of gear, since he doesn't really use components to buy upgrades. The gems that I gained from that last run are going toward buying a piece of gear. The knockoff Scramcat Tee, which essentially allows you to nope slams from lasers and other electromagnetic energy for only 1 trouble. So yet another defensive option for Flobert. But I think, as I always do, this one will be styled not as a t-shirt, but just as a new ball cap. It's going to be exactly identical to his previous purple ball cap. I think this is even going to rewind a little to when everyone was at the diner together.
Oh, yeah.
In my mind, I picture it so much like a Denny's, and there has to be a claw machine there.
Yeah.
Just sees the exact same hat. And he pops 2 gems into the slot because for some reason the slot takes gems. You know what? The slot doesn't take gems, but he jams his gems into it. So the machine doesn't work. And he has to just reach his glooby arm up inside, and he turns it into his own little claw. He still manages to fumble grabbing the cap at first, and then he gets it.
He only jams one of the gems in it first, but then he misses the first attempt and is like, well, I gotta play it.
Better try again. This one's tough.
I like the idea that theoretically this should have cost you 0 gems.
He's keeping himself honest.
If he's really honest, is it like a buy one, like a take a penny, leave a penny? Like he takes a hat and leaves a gem?
Essentially, he's gotten this new piece of gear which replaces his old hat, but he pops it on top of his little gumdrop form, and he sees himself just in the reflection of the doors. They're all going to leave, and there's just this moment of like welling up confidence. It's like, yeah, I can do this. I'm a pretty swell goo. Yeah. And this will lead in to a montage series of sorts, working towards a goal for Bubby. And his goal is to find love. With this newfound confidence of what to Bubby feels like, oh, this new hat, this is a rebrand, despite it being identical to what they wore. This new hat, this is what's going to get people to notice. And we see just a series of like, Bubby's in the hallway, and he sees just this really striking Thanispartian walking down, and he notices, he's by the door. So he sort of gloops up from his gumdrop form. He's got sort of that chibi humanoid-esque form, but he pulls up into his like, Casanova mode, which translates to looking like a young Timothy Chalamet, but made out of translucent yellow goo. And he opens up the door for this Thanispartian, and they, with both arms, grab the door and just push it further and splat him up against the wall. Unnoticed, just splooted. When he gets down, he goes, it's like a look to the camera, thumbs up, all right, it's going well.
We've advanced.
We kind of head into the cafeteria, and some dudes from the football team are like throwing a football back and forth, and one hucks it and goes a little far, and it lands in front of Flobert. He goops up into his big human form, and he picks up the ball, and he starts running forward to go bring it back, and like, dashing, and he steps on a grate in the middle of the cafeteria and falls entirely through it, dropping his hat and the football. Close up, looking into the camera from down in the sewer. Thumbs up, it's working! There's some goth kids out by a tree outside, and they're sitting there smoking. And he goes up and he's like, maybe I can make a move. Chalamet form, sit on down, light a cigarette, accidentally eat the whole cigarette. And it's just puffing away inside him, filling a big smoke cloud, and he's slowly expanding as it like interacts weirdly in him. He's just big bloated. It's very Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And everyone gets kind of weirded out and just kind of like stubs out their cigarettes on him and leaves. Bloated form, look at the camera, thumbs up, it's working! Yeah. Yeah. That's about it.
Oh, very good.
This is the first of the Grit Beats a goal, a montage where you work toward a goal. That goal is, to find love. And from this, I gain a slam because it's not going great.
I think despite like all the moments throughout of like being like, yeah, it's going well, I think at the end of the day, Flobert kind of like gloops back into his dorm, looks in the mirror, same sort of like glancing at the reflection as was happening in the diner. It's like, maybe the hat wasn't the key, and he's somewhat downtrodden. I think it's more emotional slam of like, gosh, I just want to be appealing to someone. I want someone to like me. I want to find someone, and it's not happening yet.
The slam of downtrodden.
Yeah.
Alternate pitch, sprained thumb from all the thumbs ups to the camera.
Back at the Stanley home, which is a little bit off of the school campus. He doesn't actually stay at the campus. Jacob is in his room. He's made sure that, his parents are doing something else. And he's brought over his good old friend, Flobert, to be his, co-conspirator in this kind of endeavor, as he's got this Mr. Wilkie's eat-a-buddy kind of thing all set up. He's got the Petri dish, and he's like, I am so excited to do this.
I'm just saying, Flakes, I don't really understand. A living thing made out of candy? Said the talking juju.
Yeah, it's pretty wild that would ever happen. Anyways, do you think we need to do anything special?
Nope.
Okay, how about you read me the instructions?
All right. And he glorps up the instruction page.
And it's like disintegrating.
Yes, it's just soaked up. Open the things and shake them all together, I'm guessing. And yep.
Okay, well, it would be a little handier, but I guess the needle has to be used for something. I'll just try. He stabs it into himself and pulls out. Okay, this is good enough, and it just spurts a little bit of this blood into the container of thing, and he spins it around. And I guess I put it into the petri dish, or should I put it into the petri dish first? Well, we're already this far.
Put it in the dish, and we have to hold it over top of a lamp which is turned on. The light bulb will cook it.
That's one of the instructions?
That's what it says, I'm sure.
Oh, okay. Great.
It was apparently expired in 1986, so yeah, easy bake technology. Predated mega friction.
And so, there you go. It, put it, rested on top of the lamp, and it's just kind of, precariously sat up there. And, okay, well, I wonder how long it'll take. Well, I guess we'll find out later. Flobert, this is perfect.
I wasn't so sure about it, but it's very exciting now. Woo!
Well, great. We should get you back to the school.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I can walk.
I should probably go with you in case you get lost in the sewer or something.
Sure thing, but we gotta make sure we leave this on and running while we're gone.
That's a good idea.
Good.
All right, let's go. And you go through the bedroom and down the hall and goes down the stairs and
The camera lingers in the room for a second, and there's a bright spot on the ceiling where the lamp is shining through the petri dish and sort of projecting it onto the roof, and you see this concoction split and divide into two and then split again into four, and then it's doing the substance intro and splitting.
As I go by the living room, I look over and Flakes sees his dad, who is just getting off the phone.
All right, yes, no, I understand completely. Yes, no, I'll handle it. And he hangs up the phone. It's oh, goodness gracious.
I'm just taking Flobert back to school, Dad. Don't mind me. And he's starting to put on
Nice
the shoes.
to see you, Mr. Stanley. Lovely abode.
1 second, Jacob. 1 second. Listen, you and your friends haven't heard anything about. How much do I say here? Just keep your ears open, and if anyone's talking about acquiring anything or being anywhere they shouldn't have, I'm in real hot water here, and I need to figure out who may have infiltrated, the less you know, the better, probably. But just keep your ears open, because if I don't find, it's my butt on the line if I don't find what's gone missing.
Oh, so wait, there was an incident. All
right. I suppose you're old enough to know certain details, but just it sounds like some confiscated materials and other contraband were misplaced, mismanaged, possibly stolen, and in amongst those materials was something pretty irreplaceable and very important, and if I don't get it back, it's a major problem for DROW and for the school and for me and my career path. So
wow, Flakes, that sounds a lot like the
a hand covering as best he can Flobert's mouth. Oh boy. So somebody took some stuff and it's getting DROW's attention?
I mean, normally little things go missing here and there. We just chalk it up to adolescent antics. But this particular set of antics included a very important and one-of-a-kind item that was supposed to be kept in lockdown. And I don't know what's going to happen if I don't get it back for DROW. So listen, I know the students aren't gonna come clean to me. I know I'm an authority figure, but I need you, Jacob, my son. I need you to be my eyes and ears. I need you to work all your connections and keep your ear to the ground. And you tell me if you hear anything suspicious. All right?
Yeah. We'll be on the lookout for. I don't know. Probably there's not video posted of it somewhere. Hey, Flobert, we gotta really hurry. No. It's time for exercise. Don't worry, Dad. I'll be back as soon as we can.
Yeah, we'll get out of here. Don't worry, Mr. F. Flakes is sure to be your narc. Yeah.
Okay. And then
I'm so glad I could trust you, son.
and Jacob is trying to like move quickly until like the door is closed and he's like down the walkway and just out of sight of the front window and just like bolts into a dead sprint. Just
Flakes, slow down. My legs are less existent in yours.
And what scene was that for you for downtime?
That scene for me was one called Caught in a Plot. You overhear something, get mistaken for someone, get ushered into the wrong line, etc. I think in this case, I may have brought alive a creature that may or may not should be alive. I don't know. This could be a bad problem.
You get mistaken for someone, you get caught in the wrong line, you play God.
Yeah, the classic plot we all get caught up in.
Esther is on her jailbroken Myper phone. She's doing that like kind of business lady thing where she's like taking different calls. Like, hang on, let me put you on hold. And so she's talking to some of her friends in the Mavens, specifically her friendly rival Marla Pronger, the scoop monger. Thenis Barshin, who another student here at the school. We won't get too far into it, but she's kind of another like nosy snoop like Esther is, but a little bit more of a tattletale, kind of Esther's friendly rival. She's like, yeah, Marla, that video was totally me, and it is getting so much play. I'm sorry you're jealous, but no, I will not tell you where we shot that or what we found. If you're so good at snooping, figure it out yourself. Bye. Hey, Tommy May. Oh my God, thank you for calling. I know you're such a gossip, but I actually need to like employ your powers. And Tommy May is sort of the gossip at the school, another one of the mavens. If there's anything to know about school, Tommy's on it, and Tommy May has helped Esther disseminate this video. So Esther has posted the video she took to My Page Premium. Yeah. Which is, where you can post videos if you're a premium My Page subscriber, which she certainly is. She's got the fancy phone. And it is getting all kinds of traction all over the internet, all over like Slugblaster social media. And so she's both lording it over Marla and keeping some of the details from Marla, her friendly rival, but also getting Tommy May Zeitgeist, the Bright Academy gossip in residence, to help like spread the word that like She did something cool. This is her video. She's loving the spotlight. She's on her phone. She's moving it. And this video has gone viral in the past couple hours.
And if you were hearing you on the phone and all this kind of stuff, in the background you hear the clip, clap, 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 clap of my sneakers just run.
Yeah, Tommy May. I can't believe the views we're getting on this, Tommy May. Sorry. Someone's at my door. Someone's at my dorm room door. What? Hang on. Beep.
And I open the door, close behind me. Flobert maybe slips underneath the...
slams flat into the closed door.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay. Esther, you didn't post the video, right?
Of course I did.
No. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, well, no, this just go and delete it. It's fine.
Oh, this is the internet, honey. Nothing gets deleted. It is already being picked up by a bunch of regional Slugblaster stuff. And get this, on Q's Inquest. It's at QuinQuest on my page, but the video's getting all kinds of attention. It's so popular. People are talking about it all over.
We're going to get in trouble.
No, it's fine.
No.
Lorp. Hi, Esther. Flakes, what's happening? Is this going to be bad for your dad's butt?
Yes, okay. DROW is breathing down my dad's butt because it turns out that little thing with the Wilkie's Eat-A-Buddy or whatever, that was... apparently they're looking for it.
Well, I mean, we were going in to get a bunch of gear, which we got. We got sweet hoverboards. We got lenses and coils and stuff. I mean, I don't know, just put the thing back. It's not like you opened it and initiated the activation process.
Well, we weren't supposed to be caught at all. We were fine. We were in the clear.
Actually, it should be done cooking right about now.
Oh, so you did use it already.
Yeah, because...
Well, that sounds like my video is not really the biggest problem then, is it? In fact, it's probably the best thing that happened to us all day.
It's going to get us all caught and kicked out of school.
No, you playing science is going to get us all caught and kicked out of school.
Well, either way, we got to get out of this.
Whatever. The video is already popular, and it's totally putting us on the map. We could use this to make a real crew. This could be the start of something really exciting. We could be the most popular Slugblasters at BRITE Academy. Where, yes, I recognize slugblasting is not allowed, but where is slugblasting allowed?
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. He'll be fine. My dad doesn't know how to use the internet anyways. Whenever he tries to double click on the internet symbol, he just winds up dragging it and then opening 5 other applications along the way. He won't find out.
And also, give me a little more credit than this, Flakes. All right, I have been editing the whole time you guys were dicking around in the pool. I was editing this to look slick as hell. There are full-blown Slugblaster videos that don't have the polish of this. This new signature device is rad. Check it out. And she shows you guys the video, and it is her. It's mostly on her face, and the world is spiraling behind her because she's doing a 360 holding the selfie stick. But there's parts of it that she's edited to slow down to show Miserée taking on the orb and to show Flobert spitting up the orb, to show Gobriel cracking the thing, to show you, fighting the slug. And it looks polished as hell, but because of the weird shape of this room with gravity on every face of it, you kind of can't tell where we are. You can, other than her face, you can barely tell who we are. And at no point is there anything really in there that implicates us.
Well, then a security cube is it could be any security cube.
Yeah, it could be any security cube. They don't know this was us, and yeah.
Well, it should be okay. It should be okay. But you really screwed the pooch on this. You should know that.
I screwed the pooch. Yeah. I'm not the one who used a 17-year-old expired candy science.
Well, we're scientists. Well, sort of.
Even Flobert's laughing at that.
Yeah. Well, just know that if I go down, you're going down.
Do you know who you're talking to? I can keep a secret. I've said it before, but I'm going to repeat it for posterity and exposition. My dad was an air horn blower in Popularia. He exposed the entire Popularian government for the corruption implicit in the Supreme Judge panel, like American Idol style judge. So yeah, my whole thing is gathering information and keeping it lock and key and making sure it only gets disseminated to who I want to. So... yeah, get into it, Buster.
Well, by the sound of things, this shouldn't actually expose Mr. S's butt, so I think it's okay.
And Flakes is a little bit rattled, but it's just this could be okay.
Yeah, chill, Daddy-o.
And Flakes kind of like, yeah, it will be okay. It will be okay. And he goes and turns, leaves the door, realizing he won't be the one getting in trouble about this.
And this was my scene. The Guts beat Spotlight. You get scouted by a sponsor, become a fan favorite, or get singled out for some kind of reward or accolade. You are not humble about it. Definitely got the not humble thing about. And yeah, the accolade is just the fact that we've got one of the hottest viral videos on Slugblaster social media. And also why I didn't have enough in the lab, because that's -3 style, and that cost me the 3 style I had. So.
And what do you get for marking that?
I
beat?
get a legacy, which is I think
That's fast.
360 viral something. What's a fun way to riff on that?
360 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because we're in hot water.
How do degrees work in 3D?
That's what I was asking, and how we got Laena's riff, which is great. I don't want to step on that. And then also, so I get +1 legacy, which is that, and then 1 fracture. So I'm already causing a rift in this team. You and I are not on. We didn't start on friendly terms, and I like that we're already kind of at each other's throats. All the other seasons of the show, we've been like pretty friendly with each other, but immediately we're contentious, and I love it.
And
so I don't. What do we want to call that fracture?
Is there like a quick way to say like if I'm going down, you're going down with me?
Mutually assured destruction.
Yes.
So we cut back to Goby, but not in the Bright Academy. This is a younger looking Goby from a little while back. He looks a little more fresh-faced, and he also just looks more at home because he is in the plane of Desneen. He's making his way through a water-filled, I mean, the entire dimension is water, but through an underwater hallway. The walls are kind of like carved out of coral and like carved into the living coral of underwater planetoid made out of coral, and he's making his way through this hallway. There are other fish people making their way through this hallway. It's a populated high school hallway, but Goby is making his way specifically towards one other Desninian here, and he sort of approaches nervously. His normal blue-green color is given way to sort of a burgundy glow as he approaches this person and says, Kelver, do you have a quick minute before the bell rings here? Just one quick sec?
Oh, hey, don't rumple my mantle leather jacket. What do you want, nerd?
It's just, I was hoping we could revisit our discussion from the other day about the student council elections, because I've just seen the latest.
Those things are coming up pretty soon, eh?
Yeah, and I've seen the latest polling numbers, and it's not looking good for me, and it's looking very good for you. And as I was telling you last time, like this doesn't seem like it really matters to you, or is anything that you're going to really put any of yourself into, and it matters a lot to me. It is very important that I get my extracurriculars in order and have a good application if I'm ever going to get into Quantum Brook. So I really, really need this. And it seems like you don't need this because you're already, popular and well-loved and a successful Slugblaster and everything anyone could aspire to be.
Kelver's been busy combing back his head fin.
Hey, you sound pretty uptight about this. You ever thought maybe you should just chillax a little bit?
It's just that I know that I would do right by the school, and I would make sure that everything was in the best interests of the student body, and it seems like you don't care and are just going to sweep the election because you're popular. And
what can I say? If that's what the student body wants, I got to give the student body what it wants.
But you don't have to. You could drop out. You could drop out of the race, and then they wouldn't be able to vote for you, and then they would have to vote for me, and that would be best for everyone because I know what I'm doing and I care. And
hey, if there's one thing that I know, it's that Kelvar's not going to drop out. The people told him he shouldn't be dropping out of school,
That's just, I was hoping that maybe you could, do me a little favor since, I did do you that favor of installing that that coil that you made me deconstruct out of my science project and then install into your reality cannon for you, even though I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to have that, and you're definitely not allowed to install that coil
Hey,
because
look,
that...
you said you'd keep that under tight wraps. I don't want to hear that nobody found out you had loose fish lips, huh?
We just call them lips here. And I did, and I have, and I will, but I thought maybe since I did you that favor, maybe you could see your way to doing me a favor.
All right, well, let's say that I do you this favor. This sounds a little bigger than a little bit of a coil work, you see? So I think I might need something owed a little more if that were the case.
I can't... Listen, installing the coil in the first place was already dangerous. I mean, if anyone found out that I had anything to do with that, I'd be in so much trouble. And I mean, forget my Quantum Brook application at that point. The student council president isn't going to save me from a mark on my reputation that bad.
Oh.
He pulls down some shades that he's been wearing this whole time.
You saying that would be a bad thing for you? If it were to come out that you were working on an, how do we say, illegal reality cannon, that'd be pretty bad for your own reality, huh?
Well, but you made me do it. You said that I had to.
I said a lot of things, sure, didn't I? How are they ever gonna know that? Who's gonna know? You gonna try and tell them about it?
No.
Grab shirt collar, slam against wall. It's easy to do because we're underwater and the physics allow it.
Then
No.
I think you better think about the size of a pool you're swimming around in, little fish.
And Goby just glows even brighter burgundy and sort of floats away dejectedly. As he floats away, he sort of looks back over his shoulder and scowls at Kelver and you know, internally stews about it, but there's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can say to anyone. It would just risk his own reputation. There's nothing he can do, or is there? And with that, we cut to a Popularian newscast and an indeterminate amount of time later after this incident, where we hear the broadcast already in progress.
And in multiversal news, a high school in Desneen is closed for the week for repairs after its gymnasium imploded. Not gnarly at all. Sorry to editorialize. No one was injured as the gymnasium was empty at the time, but authorities say they suspect the incident may be related to the dangerous teen trend known as slugblasting. For Pop News, I'm Prif Hudsley.
And that was my origin beat. Spent 3 style, a flashback that shows a defining moment from your past, +1 trait. And since we established in that scene that Goby knows how to, take apart a signature device and install different components, I'm going to use this to unlock Actually Reads the Manual. You can remove mods, break mods down into components, and install new mods on the fly. It takes either an action roll or a few minutes of work.
And with that, we go into our final scene.
We move away from BRITE Academy, from the dimension of Null, into the Golden Jungle. It is vast, absolutely covered with tall, tall trees that reach up into the sky that is constantly lit by 2 brilliant, hot suns. We descend into the canopy, down through the foliage, where a crew of Slugblasters is currently filming a trick. One of them pulls it off, they cheer, and then the cheers turn into screams as a shadow falls across them.